One might hear the objection, look, I understand that the doctrines of Mary as co-redemptrix, mediatrix of all graces, and advocate are already church teachings, but why a fifth Marian dogma now? Why is there an urgency for having this proclaimed by the Holy Father for our particular time? Welcome to MaryCast. This is Dr. Marc Mero, Professor of Theology and Mariology at the Franciscan University of Steubenville. And I'd like to give you 10 good reasons why there should be a fifth Marian dogma, and I would even say for our last couple of reasons why there must be a fifth Marian dogma right now. And so, as we talked about, surely the doctrine is part of Catholic tradition. She is our spiritual mother. She is the woman who suffers with us. She is the mother who dispenses graces to us. She is the principal advocate or intercessor from the people of God to humanity. This is already the official teachings of the papal magisterium. But why the dogma now? Why take that doctrine and raise it to a level of a solemn definition at this particular time? Well, let's go through some principal reasons why it would benefit the church so much right now. And then, as I mentioned, why it's really imperative, why there is a legitimate urgency for the proclamation of the fifth Marian dogma now in our time. First of all, the proclamation of the dogma would add theological clarification in an area which is for some theologically unclear, a little muddled, a little confused. Take, for example, the title co-redemptrix. Many people, and even Catholics, will sometimes say, well, that puts Mary on a level of equality with Jesus Christ, and we can't have that, and the church can't have that. Now, remember, the church does have that. This is already a doctrine of the church and a title used by popes, saints, mystics, used by Pope John Paul II and Pius XI before him, used by Sister Lucia of Fatima and Blessed Teresa of Calcutta and St. Padre Pio, and also has been a term used since the 14th century of the church. So we've got the term. If there's confusion about the term, a solemn definition by the Vicar of Christ will only add clarity to potential confusions. Clarity like the fact that the prefix co does not mean equal. It means it is cum in Latin, and it means with. So when we use the term co-redemptrix, we're referring to Mary's unique participation, cooperation, working with Jesus, especially in giving him his body at the Annunciation and suffering with him throughout the time from the Annunciation to Calvary as a co-redemptrix, as the woman with the Redeemer. So if there's confusion or doubt, a definition brings light, peace, clarity, and it is what Pius IX called the perfection of doctrine. That's why he defined the Immaculate Conception in 1854. Not because it wasn't a doctrine before, but he thought it would add perfection to the doctrine and the greatest possible appreciation of the doctrine by the faithful. So too for this proposed fifth Marian dogma. Reason number 2, there would be untold ecumenical benefits from this definition. Yes, I did say ecumenical benefits, even though many accuse the dogma as being against ecumenism. So again, let's get based and back and clear and rooted on what ecumenism means. Ecumenism means that you have prayer for unity and you have authentic dialogue with the goal of arriving from a Catholic perspective of the truth which sets us free. Now that truth that sets us free is only fully contained in the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. So the dogma would bring clarity of what we do believe, but also a mother like no one else unites their children. I quote a well-known Anglican theologian, Dr. Judah the Gentle, who has on several public occasions said, this fifth Marian dogma will do more for Christian unity than anything else that we can do on our own. And I marveled at her humility in saying that as an Anglican theologian, that this Marian dogma is really saying, Blessed Mother, we need your help to unify. She very frankly talks about some of the gridlocks, some of the obstacles that are facing us in the great ecumenical dialogue. And she calls us to make this proclamation to Mary. Ask her to intercede with the full power of her intercession for Christian unity. So it is not accurate to say that a proclamation of truth is anti-ecumenical. It's quite the opposite. If ecumenical dialogue means being truthful with what we hold and asking our brothers and sisters to be truthful with what they hold, then a clarification of truth only helps the dialogue. And more importantly, as Dr. Gentle says from the Anglican Confession, it brings Our Lady in to intercede as a mother in uniting her children. So, great ecumenical benefits from the proclamation as well. Number 3, the proclamation of the dogma, of the fifth Marian dogma, would lead to a great affirmation of the dignity of the human person and also the unique dignity of woman. How so? Because this fifth Marian dogma is telling us that God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, but that God also so loved woman that He wanted woman involved in the plan of redemption. As a woman was involved in the loss of grace for the human family with Eve, so too God wanted woman to be involved in the restoration of grace to the human family. Mary's role as co-redemptrix is not an accident. It's not a peripheral. It's what God wanted to be incarnately the new Eve with Jesus, the new Adam, to bring grace back. So you see, it's not simply an afterthought or peripheral idea to have Mary as part of the plan of redemption. It says, number 1, God wants human cooperation in salvation. And number 2, God wanted a woman involved with the God-man of redemption for this restoration. So it's authentic Christian feminism, and even beyond the unique dignity and blessings of woman, it also bespeaks that God respects every individual, every human being's freedom. He wants us to cooperate with His grace for our salvation and the salvation of others. And properly put, we must cooperate with His grace for our salvation and the salvation of others. So Mary, co-redemptrix, is a perfect model of the dignity of the human person, God respecting freedom but calling us to participate, and the particular dignity of woman as well. The fourth reason for this proclamation is a corrective, and this is piggybacking point number 3, but a real corrective to a misunderstanding of the dignity of woman today. When we talk about an authentic Christian feminism, we ultimately see woman's mysterious dignity in the person of Mary. God chose her to participate in the salvation of every individual, and it also raises the particular beauty of femininity and motherhood. Yes, it is true, in our age, motherhood is getting a bad rap. If at best, it's being left behind in many cases. Motherhood is a tremendous dignity that is so central for the sanctification of any family, so too with the family of God. So, with authentic proclamation of Mary uniquely participating with Jesus, that means beyond pope, beyond bishop, beyond priest, beyond any other man, that Mary as woman and as mother participated in this redemption. This really helps to refocus the unique dignity, authentic Christian feminism, why woman is so incredibly deserving of honor and proper respect, in spite of pseudo-feminisms which really destroy that very much and lose that uniqueness. So we're going to continue with why this fifth Marian dogma is necessary now. This is Dr. Marc with MaryCast. Continue with us. God bless.